Hey guys, back to try to mix it up a little bit today. Normally, I talk about decks and what things I think are cool, some cool interactions, things like that. Today though, as a lot of you guys may know, I'm one of the designers for the ATP sets of the Transformers TCG. A lot of people really don't talk about the design process, and we get the question a lot from people in the server asking if certain characters can get stratagems. Well, today I want to talk about why not everyone can get a stratagem, even if they're like a fan favorite character. Um, the example I'm going to use to kind of talk about why certain characters can't get stratagems or it's not worth trying to give certain characters stratagems is going to be Thundercracker Mock Warrior. He's one of my favorite characters to be ever put into the game by Wizards of the Coast. Um, Really cool kind of storm style effect in bot mode. But that kind of an effect is exactly why he's like one of the prime candidates to talk about why certain characters won't get stratagems. So, to start, we look at Thundercracker here. His stat line 4-12-1, 5-12-1. It was fine for wave 1. Got power crept out stat line wise. The flip ability is still really good for his alt mode, just dealing 2 to a character. And then the bot mode effect is where he really has like his big flashy plays, where whenever you play an action, he gets an additional attack for the turn. So things like leap into battle give him +4. If you go like brainstorm, leap, leap, all of a sudden you got +3 from playing actions, +6 more. So all of a sudden you're 14 attack now. And you can kind of see where this is spiraling. A lot of the optimal play lots of action decks tend to lead to pretty negative play experiences, or can. They have the potential to when it comes to setting multiple secret actions in a turn, playing multiple discard effects. If it was just one of those things where you could just play pumps and get like big attack for one turn to be really bursty, I don't think it would be a big issue. It's the fact that you run into the potential for really negative play experiences when you incentivize people to play these lots of action decks, and that's not something as a designer I want to push into the game personally, is I don't want to push these really prisony, cruel control, just lock someone out of the game decks. And if we, with that, play an action to get +1 attack, you're incentivizing people to play multiple actions, so it could be built in such a way that you can just lock your opponent out of the game while also benefiting from it. And like I said, as a designer, that's not something I want to push, and it's just something to keep in mind. That being said, like an example that I want to talk about with this character is I have a couple strats that have thrown together. I know I said this character could never get a strat. I have a couple strats that I've thrown together for this character to kind of exemplify why I just don't think it works to give this type of a character a stratagem. The first example I have is called Sonic Boom. Both of them are. But it's a 1-star stratagem that gives him +1 health, +1 defense, so that makes him 13 health, 2 defense on a 9-star, so again, still understated. This one's going to be the not very exciting option, and that's part of what you kind of run into, aside from just the ability to give him raw stats. Maybe that would be fine, and the safe way to do it if we really did want to make a stratagem for this character is to just give him raw stats. This is kind of what I would say is like the safe, probably not worth a star design, that you kind of run on the edge because you don't want to push them way too broken if you print it a certain way. This one says when you play your third action during your turn, your opponent puts the top card of their deck into the KO area. So if you notice, things like Brainstorm that you already want to be playing in your Thundercracker deck, your War of Attritions, your Focus Fires, things like that. When you play one, your opponent KOs the card, feeding to the Energized 4 ability on this, which most of the Energized enablers are actions anyway. So I tried to make it so he would lean into Energized, be kind of this like aggressive, slanted Energized support character. Energized 4, you may play an additional action on each of your turns, so it helps fuel his ability. You do need some card draw to fuel it, but again, with that stat line that's needed to be reduced to give an ability like this, it's just not worth it for 9 stars, I feel. he just will die too fast, and you're kind of building your deck around this. I could see some sweet synergies with like Ironhide here, but again, I just don't think it's worth it at this star cost. Because the ability isn't immediate value. You have to work towards it, and he's still just frail, and he's gonna be dying. Um, the second example I have for you guys is again called Sonic Boom. This one kind of is Quake-esque, where it says when another character is KO'd, each player puts the top card of their deck into the KO area. This one is designed, whereas the other one might have been too strong. This one, or not strong enough. This one's designed to be too strong, and why there's that thin edge with certain characters, why it just might not be worth the effort. So what I was saying is like this one, it kind of makes him into a Quake, where whenever one of your characters or your opponent's characters is KO'd, each player KOs the top card of their deck, and then he has an Energized 4 ability again, except this one is you may play cards from your KO area as though they were in your hand. When you play a card from your KO area, do 1 damage to your Thundercracker Mock Warrior, and then it gives them +2 health. So, some of you may know, I play a little bit of Flesh and Blood outside of the Transformers TCG. There's a character in the game, Chain, who is all about playing cards from Banished at a cost, and this is my way to kind of get that ability into the game. But that character, as some of you may know if you've played the game, is notoriously strong. In fact, he just won the first Pro Tour of the game. So, the ability is definitely on a higher power level than anything we've seen in the Transformers TCG thus far, and I think it's probably should stay that way, that it doesn't get seen. The ability just to play cards from your KO area is, as a second hand, is just way too much value. And whenever another character is KO'd, each person KOs the card. Like, there's just plays you can line up that just accelerate that way too fast. But it's stuff like that that make this character worth it as an understated 9-star, which is why I don't think you can ever put something like this out there, like as something you could actually go to print. Shockwave from Wave 1 is a similar way, where I said that sure, the character can do some really sweet things, and their stat line's just not there. But you run into the problem where if you help them too much, you can run into some very negative play patterns, and that's not something as a designer that we are trying to push into the game. It's something that I think we should be actively trying to remove from the game, if I'm being honest, is removing some of these negative play interactions instead of introducing them. So yeah, that was just a quick little video today. I just wanted to kind of talk about and answer the question why certain characters can't receive stratagems, even though it would be really nice to help certain characters. It was just kind of quick little discussion on why some characters can't get help, and it would be better off just to make a new character to reach the goal that we were trying to meet with the old character. So I hope you enjoyed that little discussion, and until next time, take care.